My name is Roger Clay. I am a savior. And we are all Negan. There was another life before this. Another man lived in this skin. There is another person whose blood ran through these veins. But that man is dead now. He failed as a father. He failed as a husband. He couldn't even protect his own children. He couldn't protect his own family. So that man had to be punished. Negan always taught me that punishment is how we build everything that we have. Examples have to be set, and weakness is unacceptable. In the other life, everything was easy by comparison. That man that lived before me, he knew nothing of pain, nothing of true suffering, nothing of true darkness and despair. He never experienced a really tough day in his life. That man lived in Iowa, on the outskirts of a small, quiet town called Pocahontas. His name was Roger Thompson. He spent most of his life at a factory that manufactured farm equipment, day in and day out. He lived a normal life, but he was completely blind to his blessings. He didn't appreciate the beauty in life enough. He did not appreciate everything he had. He squandered his days away. He just played it safe. He got a job out of high school, and he never stepped outside of his comfort zone. So many days, so many years wasted. Why is it that we fail to recognize how good we really have it until everything we love is gone? Why don't we appreciate the life that we have before it's too late? Negan taught me that people are a resource. People are maybe the most important resource that we have. I became a savior because, like Negan says, we save people. Roger Clay saves people. But that comes at a cost. There is a cost for everything. A cost for life and a cost for death. Everything has a cost. I won't lose anymore. I won't love anymore because I became stronger. My brothers and sisters, the saviors, will liberate this new world. Here in Virginia and eventually across the whole country, the whole world in time. Our plan is foolproof and ironclad. Our secrets keep us alive. The Brotherhood of Negan is just now emerging from the shadows. By the time the CDC news reports about the outbreak had reached us, it was already too late. Roger was on his way home from the factory when the emergency alert came through on the radio. He stepped on the gas and began racing towards his house, to his wife and his 2 daughters. And that's when everything was wrong. He knew everything was wrong. And he was right. Nothing was right. As he turned onto his quiet country road, that's when his life changed forever. That was when he first saw one of them. It was walking in the middle of the road, heading in the same direction that he was driving. He thought it was a hurt pedestrian at first, because as he approached more closely, he realized it wasn't actually walking at all. It was staggering. It was moving, but not the way a human being moves. It was as though the creature was being pulled forward by some unseen magnetic force. The closer he approached, the less it looked human, and the more it was revealed to be something else. At first, he thought it was someone in need of help or medical attention. But that clearly wasn't the case, as he knew in his gut. He rolled down his passenger side window as he slowed his Silverado to a crawl and pulled up beside the mysterious and wayward creature. As he stopped his truck, the creature also stopped moving. Then, it suddenly turned its neck and looked right at him. It was Old Bill, who ran the feed store nearby. But it wasn't Old Bill anymore. It was his body. But there was nothing but darkness in its eyes. Nothing but cold, hungry emptiness. Old Bill snarled, the most insidious sound a creature could make, and immediately lunged into the Silverado truck through the open passenger side window. Roger Thompson had never seen real fear before that moment. He had come face to face with a cougar once as a kid, even though his parents told him that there were no cougars in Iowa. But he knew what he had seen. It was a huge cat with perfect grace and giant teeth. And it stared at him for a brief second before licking its lips one time and then disappearing into the tree line. For a long moment, he had thought that he was going to be eaten alive. That encounter had been the most terrifying moment of his life up until this point. Now, Roger was face to face with a wild, deranged, and inhuman version of a man that he had seen every week for years, but now who clearly wanted to kill him and eat him alive. He stepped on the gas, and the tires burned away plumes of thick black smoke as he attempted to steer with his left hand while trying to fight off the vicious beast with his right hand. The wild creature was relentless. Before he knew it, he wasn't driving on the road anymore. He was tearing through the cornfield, desperately swerving for dear life while trying to fight a vicious monster. He slammed the truck's brakes and immediately opened his door and rolled out of the moving truck. He then got up without hesitation and stared in disbelief as Old Bill climbed all the way through the truck and out of the open driver's side door and continued to crawl on the ground, snarling towards him the entire way. Roger grabbed a sledgehammer out of the bed of his truck and dispatched of the ghastly and vile creature with one mighty swing. It stopped moving, and then the only sound he could hear was the wind rustling through the cornfield once again. He jumped back into his truck and he stepped on the accelerator, sending corn husk flying in every direction as he gained momentum towards his house. His heart beat rapidly, faster than any human heart should ever beat. All he could think of was his wife and his 2 daughters. He prayed the entire way home, something that he had not done in a very long time prior to that day. As he pulled up to his driveway, he immediately noticed that the local mail truck had smashed through his mailbox and was parked directly in the middle of his front yard. He hopped out of his truck and he grabbed the sledgehammer once again. There was no mailman inside the mail truck. That's when he noticed that his front door was wide open. His heart sank even lower than it had before. Nothing could have prepared him for what he was going to find inside that house. Nothing could prepare anyone for that. This was going to be his last day on Earth. Life as he knew it was about to change forever. Carl Grimes once told me when he was living at the sanctuary with us that he believed everyone who is alive should try to help everyone else who is still living. Maybe he was onto something. Because I tell you what, that boy was wise beyond his years. I wish he had stayed at the sanctuary with us and joined our ranks. Isn't that what saviors do? We save people. Sometimes one person has to die so countless others can live. We are the saviors. We are survivors. We are unstoppable. And above all, we are Negan. My name is Roger Clay. And this is the Brotherhood of Negan.